today I've got an issue I'm just struggling with. And I'll be honest, I ain't got an answer for it. I found a gun a couple of days ago that I really want. The problem is I don't need it. I mean, I literally want this gun just because I want it. And that's something that bothers me. I'm not a collector. I've always tried real hard not to collect things. Because the problem with collecting is there's no end to it. And I worry about becoming too materialistic and valuing things too much. I mean, at the end of the day, a rifle's a rifle. For me, it's a tool for hunting. Now, I've always loved rifles, and still do. I love shooting them, you know. But rifles and hunting are two separate things. Rifles are a tool for hunting, and shotguns and so on. Of course, you can do all kinds of things with rifles, all kinds of shooting sports. But for me, again, a rifle's a tool. And every rifle I've ever bought, which I truly don't have that many. Most of the guns I have, half of them I just ended up with. And, they were older rifles that, damaged, not really worth much. Different people had at different times that they didn't really know what to do with, so they just gave it to me. I'm thinking of several I got when I was, 12 or 13 years old from a family friend that was going to a retirement home then. And again, he had a few guns nobody else wanted. I got them and, restored them, and, they turned into project guns for me over the years. And I used them, and I was thankful for them and grateful for them and still have them. But that's kind of, how I ended up with half the guns I have, which, really isn't that many. But now I'm to the point, though, that with this particular rifle I'm looking at, it's rare. Okay, and in that particular brand and that particular model and that particular caliber, they made 3 styles that year in a certain year, and I've already got one of the 3. That's my favorite rifle. Well, then I stumbled across this one, and if I do get the gun, I'll show you all the differences, but I mean it's minor difference. It just one little feature makes this particular gun that I'm looking at extremely rare. That's all it is. And I want the gun because it's rare. I would shoot it and I would hunt with it, but truth be known, I want it because it's rare. And I was excited about figuring out, that this one was different and why and so on. And I'd kind of have like almost a matching pair with the one I have, and this one that I'm looking at is slightly different. But again, I don't need it. And to be honest, folks, I don't know what to do here. I know the gun's rare enough that I probably won't ever see one of these again. I mean, it's pretty rare. All right, so, and there's just something about rarity that for us humans, psychologically, we want things that are rare. I mean, but my concern is, well, what about the next rifle that comes along that I want that, it's rare? Where does it stop? And also, I've always worried about excess, or I know how human nature is. we're gluttonous. Okay, and hey, I got a stomach to show it. There's no end to our wants, and I see people, that get caught up in materialism, and they're addicted to buying things that don't matter, things they couldn't care less about, and the more things you get, the less you care about what you have. And that's something I've been aware of for some years. Matter of fact, minimalism. I really like the philosophy behind that. Now, I'm not all about, hey, let's get down to having nothing, which is what some minimalists shoot for. But I am about having, getting rid of things I don't care about, having things that I use and value. I don't want 100 knives. I want one good sharp knife and know where it's at and be able to find it. And just the thought of buying something for the sake of just because I want it, that kind of bothers me. And I had no idea how to handle this. I can afford it. It's not the greatest time for me financially right now. I mean, it's not going to make me or break me, and I'm thankful that I am able to afford it right now. But I really don't have a clue, how to handle this. If I buy this rifle, am I going to get into collecting and just want another one and another one and another one? I don't know. That's a tough one. I do know there's a few people that realize what it's worth, and it's on auction right now, and it's not going to go cheap. I think in the future it'll be worth more, maybe. Well, I say that. I mean, I would not buy this gun as an investment, because truthfully, the kids now, they just don't. I don't think hunting's going to be as popular in the future. I mean, it's already on the decline. A lot of reasons for it. And the guns that are hot now, the budget rifles and the ARs especially, that appears to be what, millennials want. Well, hey, they're the future. So if they're not buying hunting rifles, then hunting rifles aren't going to be worth that much in the future. And it amazes me how many really great rifles I see for really low prices. I mean, really quality guns that you can pick up for $400 or $500 that, in my opinion, are a lot better than any budget rifle out there right now. I mean, that's Mauser actions and real walnut stocks, and just what I consider a nice rifle. Okay, well, I'm old-fashioned, and I know that. But I would never, because of just the way things are, it's nobody's fault or anything like that. Just I don't see hunting rifles, traditional hunting rifles, being very valuable in the future. Matter of fact, I was out here working on a project, and I've got a finish plane here, and I'll be showing that project shortly. I'm pretty proud of this, but this old Stanley finish plane right here, this was made in the 1920s. I mean, just solid as it can be. Maybe the best plane I own. Kids now, I mean, I couldn't give this to one of them, especially one of them that's a minimalist. All right. And I can't blame them. Most younger people aren't into woodworking and things like that. So this would be the clutter for them that I was talking about me trying to get rid of earlier. Matter of fact, I've got a old handsaw right here. A buddy of mine gave me this. Gave it to me for my birthday. And he literally found it, saw it in a dump, picked it up. Okay, this is a Distin & Sons handsaw from the 1870s. All right, this is as good a steel as you'd ever want. I've got to knock the rust and stuff off here. I got to restore it basically. The handle's missing one screw, but it's still in great shape. And to me, I mean, for me, this is, I try not to get caught up in material things, but this is pretty special. I mean, this is, 150-year-old handsaw. And I value old stuff, and that a lot of it was made really well. I mean, it was made by people that used it. And that's kind of how I look at guns. A lot of the old guns were made to last. They weren't disposable. I remember when I was young, and maybe that's where all this is coming from. When I was young, you bought one rifle. And you saved for a really long time for that rifle. And that's pretty much it. You didn't have two, at least not a deer rifles. You might have a deer rifle and a 22 for squirrels and rabbits, but I mean that was it. That was your gun collection. Okay, well today I recognize I'm lucky enough to have a couple of different rifles, but I still in my mind think that's the way to go. I've always thought man should have one good rifle and get really good with that one rifle. And I still believe that, even though I've got multiple rifles, and I hunted with two different rifles this year, and it was nice. I had one for the woods, set up just for that, and one for clear cuts and longer shots, and that was nice. But at the end of the day, I think I'd be happy with just one really good rifle. So that's, I'm scratching my head hard on this. And this old saw, this goes back to what I was talking about. I don't think hunting rifles will be worth that much in the future. This old saw here at one time, I mean, that was a very valuable object for somebody. And here it is, this is, for me, it's special just in that, they made such good saws back then. I can put an edge on this saw, and there's plenty of plate left on this. This saw here will last me the rest of my life. Okay, and I've always been about quality too. That's kind of always been my thinking, is you buy quality things, and they should last you for many, many years. A gun, you buy a quality rifle, and it should last you your lifetime. So, I don't know. I'm really, really torn on this, and I know at the end of the day we've all got our own opinions and way of thinking about things, but I really don't know what to do here. Like I said, I can't think of this as an investment because I really don't think it's going to be worth that much one day. I'm sure I can get my money back out of it. I could even make a few dollars right now, but I'm not buying it to make anything on it. I'm just, like I said, I want it just because I want it. I might scratch my head on that one, and if you see a gun review video here in a couple of weeks, you'll know what I decided. Until then, I'm gonna have to scratch my head on this one, and I would be curious to hear some of y'all's thoughts on this. You know, we all got different opinions, and I know there's some collectors out there, and I've never faulted anybody for collecting. It's just something, me personally, I've always tried to avoid. And I don't know, this is a tough one. And truthfully, I really think I'm just more excited about figuring out what this gun is exactly and how it came about and the details to it, because it's not very well known, and I guess I'm just kind of proud of myself because I figured something out. So anyway, I'm gonna scratch my head hard on this one. And, I'd be curious to hear any of y'all's thoughts on this. Well, how do y'all deal, with excess wants? And now, sadly, I know how most people deal with it, and it's called MasterCard. Okay, but I don't believe in credit. I believe in paying cash, and that's, my thinking's a lot different than a lot of people's. But I'm grateful. I've always thought the way I do is it's saved me a lot of financial stress over the years. And I wish I'd have started, thinking like this a little bit younger, but, we all got our, our young years where we spend a little bit, and that's when we learn our lessons. And I don't know, I'm just feeling like maybe I didn't learn enough lessons then or something. I don't know. Anyway, folks, I'm going to wrap this up, and I'm working on a project here now that I'll be showing in a few weeks and get this filmed, and I'm really excited about it, and hopefully y'all will enjoy seeing it, because I didn't buy this, I made it, and that's the thing of what I love about tools. They let you make things and rather than buy them. But anyway, I'm going to scratch my head real hard on this for a while, and let me know what y'all think. Have a good evening.